This is episode 24 of Lang FM, the podcast where I talk to people at the intersection of language and technology. Today, we'll be taking a look at a piece of software that is very helpful for interpreters. It's appropriately named Interpreters Help. Interpreters Help is a glossary tool for interpreters that works on the web and on Mac and Windows computers. The two people behind it are Yann and Benoît Werner.
My name is Yann. I studied computer science at Epitech in 2000, and then I graduated in 2005. For some years I worked in the video game industry, and after that I switched to web development. I started to work with Benoît. We met
on the very first days of school.
Yeah, so we know each other very well.
Quick info here. Epitech is the Paris Graduate School of Digital Innovation, or French, École pour l'informatique et les nouvelles technologies.
We met on the very first days of schools, and we became friends, and we worked together on most school projects.
That's Benoît speaking.
I'm Benoît. I grew up in France, close to the border of Germany, in a very little city called The Beach. Everyone laughs usually when you say that.
I actually did this. I went to a town in France called Bitch. B-I-T-C-H-E. Beach. Beach. We are leaving Bitch.
It's in Lorraine.
Lorraine, okay.
Then I was always very interested in computers when I was young, and then I decided to study software engineering in Paris, in Epitech. After I graduated, I spent 1 year in Los Angeles, California.
And after that came
Bordeaux, Paris, Berlin. I worked as a web developer, always. I've been building websites for the last 10 years.
By now, you're probably wondering how two computer geeks came up with the idea for a glossary management tool for interpreters.
My sister, Céline Corsini, for the listeners who might know her.
My name is Céline. I'm a conference interpreter. I studied at ISIT and at the Montreal Institute of International Studies.
After graduation in 2004, when she started working as a freelancer, she asked me
to develop a glossary management tool.
An application for a Mac.
There was nothing out there that fitted my needs.
That would allow her to quickly search glossaries while she's in the booth.
Creating glossaries is an essential part of my preparation for an assignment. I create a glossary almost every time, and I was looking for a tool to manage all of them. I used to work with Word files, but very often, while interpreting, a term would come up and I knew I had it somewhere on my computer without being able to find it quickly. So I tried to put my glossaries in a huge Excel file to have access to everything at the same time, but somehow it wasn't efficient enough.
Yeah, that's how it started.
This is when I asked my brother to develop a glossary management tool or an application that would work offline and online with the possibility to store all my glossaries on the cloud.
I think in her mind it was something very easy, something very simple.
Yeah.
With just a search box where she could search for all her glossaries, and I think she was thinking that I could do that in just 2 days. But when I started to understand what she needed, it was clear that I could not do that in 2 days, neither in 2 weeks. It needed to be something quite solid. She talked to me about that the first time in 2004, but then every time I saw her, she asked me for it, and I never really had the time.
So there was an idea, a dedicated customer, and how did it go from there?
Even at some point, Yann came to Berlin in 2010, I think.
Wow, you have good memory. Yeah, I remember. So we talked about this software, and Céline started to explain to us what she needed.
I said to Yann, my sister has an interesting project. If you have time, you could work on it, because I didn't have time.
It felt very interesting, and it took a few more years before we started to really think, okay, we're going to do something. I remember I was in Sri Lanka when I started.
So you started writing a Mac application.
Yeah, I started with a Mac application. There was no website connecting to this web app.
2 or 3 years later, then I was ready, I had the time, and I was looking for a product to build, for a business opportunity maybe to build, and this seemed to me like a good idea, and then I started working on it, and then I asked Yann if he would like to join.
Surely you did some market research to find out what was already out there on the market.
I think back then there was nothing available, at least on the Mac there was nothing, I think. We didn't really look in details. Really on the Mac, I couldn't find anything, except maybe for IntraGloss, I think. It was in beta at the time.
Just a quick reminder here that I covered IntraGloss on episode 18 of the LangFM podcast, where I talked to the creator of the software, Dan Koenig. You'll find the link for that episode in the show notes.
It wasn't exactly what she was looking for. I didn't find anything, at the time.
So Yann and Benoît got to work and built something themselves.
Yeah, I think like a big turn of the project was that I started to build a Mac software. And then Benoît came with the idea to use the cloud and to have the both working together.
So there are two parts to this system. First of all, the Interpreter's Help website or web application.
The idea is that on Interpreter's Help, you create your glossaries. You create them online. So from the web browser, it saves your glossaries on the cloud.
And then there's the Interpreter's Help application that you can install on your Mac or Windows computer.
When you search your glossaries without the need for an internet connection, you will use Boostmate. When you're done preparing for your conference, when you're done creating your glossaries on the web app, for example, the day before your conference, you just open the application Boostmate. Boostmate synchronizes everything on your computer, and the next day, when you're in the booth, you can quickly search your glossaries without the need for an internet connection.
Ah, the magic of the cloud, which actually has an additional benefit.
Because after my studies, I had a problem with my hard drive as well, and I lost all my data, including my glossaries.
If only Interpreter's Help had already existed back then. Well, now it exists, and I'll talk to Benoît and Yann about how you can use it for your everyday work.
We propose different languages and also additional columns. From the very beginning, we decided for technical reasons and for the ability to share glossaries more easily to propose languages built in the application. It was a suggestion from Celine to also create columns like for definition, for comments, for category, so that you can add like some kind of metadata to each line in your glossary.
You can also create a custom column if you want. You can give a title, or a name, we call it a name. You can give it a short description, large description. You can add files for specific glossaries as well.
Think PDF documents or PowerPoint presentations.
This acts also as a backup if you want to store some files online and share it easily with colleagues. We have a tagging system, so you can organize your glossaries by tags.
Okay, so lots of great features there. But what does it cost?
Interpreter's Help is a paying application. It's a subscription-based application, and the idea is that you can create as many public glossaries as you want for free. And if you want to create private glossaries, then you need to pay.
What do you mean by public glossary?
So public glossaries are glossaries that you share with everyone, with the whole world. You share them read-only. If you want to give, you can give editing rights to anyone you like, but you share those glossaries with the whole internet read-only.
Now that sounds nice, but what if I have private terminology?
Then we know that interpreters are entitled with confidential material, and so they need to create glossaries that are private, and so our business model is based on this. So if you subscribe to Interpreter's Help, you can create as many private glossaries as you want. So these glossaries can only be seen by you, but you can share them with specific people, read-only or with editing rights.
What's interesting about having these public and private glossaries is that it turns Interpreter's Help almost into a bit of a social network built around terminology.
The idea of the social network For example, on Interpreter's Help, you have the concept of the colleagues. It's a bit like the friends that you have on Facebook. You have the notification now. We just released that. It's notifications just like Facebook. Okay. And yes, so you can work together with someone on a glossary.
That sounds nice. Now, if only Interpreter's Help would also help me manage my assignments.
You can also manage your interpretation assignments. You can work together with a team on an assignment. So you create an assignment and add any relevant information about this assignment, like the location, the speakers, or whatever. You can upload the files, like the assignment material. You can add glossaries to the assignment, and you can share this with a team and assign the task of each team member. And you can discuss with all your team about the specific assignment. So also only the team will be able to see the files and to see the glossaries.
But too many cooks spoil the broth, they say.
For example, if you work together with a team, and if one of your team members makes a change to a line, then you can consult the history for this line and see the changes. And we're currently working on the history for the whole glossary, so you will be able to see every action in the glossary and even revert to a previous state.
Like versioning.
Yes,
so
exactly.
If there's a mistake, I can go back.
It's really a versioning.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, great. So let's say you already have a bunch of electronic glossaries on your computer at home. How do you get them into Interpreter's Help?
You can import various files. So we import currently Excel, Word, and OpenOffice files. So you can easily transfer your data into Interpreter's Help. Yeah, the way it works is that it's going to import all the columns it's seeing in your file. And then you will have an intermediate screen on which you can validate which column is which language. We have a small detection system, but it's very simple. Most of the time you have to make a few twitches. The software will keep a backup of the files you imported, and you keep an history of the lines you imported in your glossary, and you can also revert and import. So this is something very useful if you import many files and then you change your mind, you want to go back.
If all that sounds a bit too fancy schmancy IT for you, well, there are easy ways to get your data onto paper or into a different format with Interpreter's Help.
You can export your glossaries to PDF, to Excel, and we have a print view, so you can print your glossaries, yeah.
Here is where it gets interesting for interpreting students and interpreting teachers, because Benoît and Yann have a very interesting offer for you.
We are doing partnerships with schools, which are allowing to use the software for free, unlimited for teachers and students. So the way it works is that we are giving a code to a university for them to use the software for free.
The students, they request a student account on the website, and once we accept it, they can use it for free for the duration of their studies, and when they're done studying, they can choose to continue using Interpreter's Help. Then we have a discount for them for the first year, and or they can use any other tool. When you don't have a subscription anymore on Interpreter's Help, like you can still see all your glossaries, and you can still export them to Excel. You just can't create a new private glossary or edit a line. They can just export their glossaries and import them in a different tool if they want after their studies. I hope they won't do that, but
no, of course,
but they can do that if they want.
Okay, so it's free for students, but what's the price for other users?
So if you want to be able to create private glossaries on Interpreter's Help, you need to subscribe. The price of the subscription is €19.99 per month. You can cancel it whenever you want. Then once you have a subscription, you can create private glossaries. Without a subscription, you can still make a good use of the website. You can create public glossaries. You can still manage your assignment, clients. Also, what the subscription gives you is the ability to upload up to 2 gigabytes of data. And there are some what we call the pro features. It's the ability to share a private glossary with editing rights. That's one of the pro features. The ability to copy a private glossary, the ability to export it to PDF.
The global search allows you to search in all your glossaries at once.
Sounds good. Well, there's more.
The glossary farm is a feature that's really important to me. It's really just the beginning right now, but I'm very ambitious about this feature. I would like to create a reliable source of terminology for interpreters, because I know when my sister prepares for a conference, she is looking at different sources to find reliable source of terminology. So we would like to really create a database of public glossaries for interpreters. We would love that the website who already share glossaries for interpreters, they would create them on Interpreters Help, organizations, even companies. We would like that school teachers and students, they embrace this and create their glossaries and then rate the glossaries and collaborate on the glossaries. We're building tools for collaborating on a glossary, and we hope to create this database, and also it's possible for other websites to embed a glossary from Interpreters Help in their website, with just one line of code, just like you would embed a YouTube video on a website. You can do that as well. So we're really ambitious about it. We don't know how we're gonna do this, but how we're gonna succeed. And we're also gonna release the ability to search directly in the whole public database, for a term.
Yeah, this is something very exciting that the web is allowing us to do.
And we didn't know if people would share glossaries publicly at the beginning, and now we're really happy that there are many students who have a full student account that allow them to create an unlimited amount of private glossary, but they decide to create most of the glossaries publicly, and we're super proud of that.
And finally, I wonder what's next for Interpreters Help.
We have a new feature that's called Issues, so you can now discuss. You can have discussion on your glossary, and you will be able to have a discussion on a specific line. So,
and what about mobile devices?
We're currently working on an iPad version, and the iPad version will allow you to edit your lines, add lines to your glossaries.
Yes, I can't wait to get my hands on that iPad version. But for now, a big thank you to Yann, Benoît, and obviously Celine, who sparked the whole development. If you'd like to know more about Interpreters Help, you can just go to
the website interpretershelp.com.
And you can also find them on social media, Twitter and Facebook.
It's Interpreters H, my Twitter handle. And we have also a Facebook page, /Interpreters Help.
As you may have guessed by this podcast, I'm a big fan of Interpreters Help, so I really encourage you to check it out and support this team of developers.
There is a lot of work to make it really credible, but we're getting there. We hope we're getting there.
They are definitely getting there. For more information, take a look at the show notes for this episode on www.langfm.audio. And while you're there, why not subscribe or leave a comment? I'd love to hear from you. That's all for today. Talk to you next time.